Fox 40 News, the only local newscast at 5:30.
A new lawsuit is making some serious allegations against the Catholic Diocese of Sacramento, and it could be the first of many like it. So this past weekend, Governor Newsom signed a new bill into law allowing victims of childhood sexual abuse more time to file civil suits.
And now a Butte County man is taking legal action. He claims that the diocese allowed his alleged abuser to continue to work as a priest in Mexico just months after he reported that priest had abused him. Fox 40's Doug Johnson joining us live now in the studio with details on that case. Doug.
Yes, certainly some disturbing details. The alleged abuse happened back in 1986. The man you're about to hear from is just one of 5 known victims of this priest, and he reported him back then, but the victim's attorney claims this priest is still a part of the church and has continued to work closely with children in Mexico.
Since this happened, I've always just tried to forget about it, but you can't. The more you try to forget about it, the harder it is.
Assembly Bill 218 becoming law is allowing child sex abuse victims like Juan Ricardo Torres to finally get their day in court. In the mid to late 1980s, Torres says he was abused by his priest, Jose Antonio Pinal.
I didn't want anybody to know. It was embarrassing enough as it was.
At the time, Torres was an altar boy at the Catholic Church in Gridley, California. Pinal preaching under the Diocese of Sacramento.
These are individuals that are supposed to be, the closest thing to Jesus Christ or God, and they're not.
In January 1989, Torres says he reported the abuse to the church.
They promised him that Pinal would no longer have access to children.
But Torres' attorney, Dr. Joseph George, says that's not what happened. He recently uncovered a letter which shows instead Pinal was moved to Mexico, practicing there in a church just a few months later.
Basically, cutting a deal that will allow Pinal to be ordained in the Diocese of Cuernavaca, and the bishop of that diocese protect the Diocese of Sacramento against any financial liability.
George and Torres have filed a civil lawsuit against the Diocese of Sacramento as the new law now allows all victims 3 years to file. George admits this likely won't be the last sexual abuse case to resurface.
Now I'm getting calls from 72-year-old white guys who are telling me they've been married for 50 years, never told their wife they were abused.
But Torres says for so many victims, the money won't fix the past nor the years of trauma.
I have 3 children, and my ex-wife says I was a good father, but I didn't feel like I was because I wasn't really present for them like I felt I should have been.
Now, we did reach out to the Catholic Diocese of Sacramento for comment. They did just release this statement to us from Bishop Soto late this afternoon. He says, I am ashamed of the letters regarding the transfer of a recognized predator. I'm going to skip ahead here. This was a grave failure of judgment and a betrayal of trust. The safety of children is our highest priority. In 1989, those in leadership positions failed to do so. I must own that and atone for this. So obviously they're not trying to hide the fact that this was a known predator, but again, there are some allegations that he went on to Mexico, and the victim we just heard from, he does believe there are more victims down there in that country. Reporting live in our studio tonight, Doug Johnson, Fox 40 News.
Doug, thank you.